Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Myogi, and welcome to some behind-the-scenes footage of the OtAnime production, which is Music Steps. By the way, just like to give a warm thanks to everyone who participated in all 4 rounds of our OtAnime production contest. Those were really magnificent works, and I just would like to say I am excited to get this done as soon as possible. Though we can just, admit some things like there are other projects I also have handling in the middle of this. One of them would be actually announced later at the end of this video, so stay tuned. And if this is your first time on OtaCute TV, I highly recommend and suggest that you click the subscribe button and the little bell icon right there so that you will be notified on the next video. Now, what were we going to cover for this behind the scenes segment is basically I will do a quick talk on how the animation process goes about on my end. I'll be handling all character animations and maybe later down the line post-processing of the entire thing. We'll have a separate segment on how we do the background, so stay tuned for that one next week. As opposed to the usual pipeline or sequence flow of animation production, if you are checking up on some anime studios, for example, these titles right here, these big anime production titles right here, well, let's just say I kind of run things a little differently for obvious reasons that there's just 2 of us doing the visual production. But in terms of everything else, of course, OtaCute TV is the one handling that when it's more than just the 2 of us. I would also like to note that this production kind of ended up a little longer than how I originally intended. Because let's just face it, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to quality and the visual impact. Because I'm also seeing this on the perspective of all of you who are watching here right now. What I have here actually is one of the finished scenes for Music Steps. It is the part of Arya where she tries to sell things with Sayaka by, approaching her apartment and trying to see what's really going on. Alright, so let's just look here on the side on how the scene actually looks.
Hi. I'm Arya. I live right downstairs. I came to talk to you because I've been hearing some, thumping sounds on my ceiling. Steps? So she was just dancing.
Okay, since we know that one of the best parts on animation production is usually the dialogue content, it's either dialogue or action scenes. For the time being, for the case of Music Steps, it's mostly on the former, which is dialogue. And what you're seeing there is that sometimes the poses, they're not as vibrant or as fluid as how you would normally see it, like say in Western animation productions or films. Basically, it's because it's a way to cut down on production time so that more scenes will be out. And it's a little bit of a cheat sheet, something that I learned from the production house behind Macross Delta. And in terms of frame rates, they do it in 8 frames per second as opposed to the standard 24 frames per second, which is a Western industry standard. Don't get me wrong, in some animated productions in Japan, they also do 24 frames per second, though at the same time it is kind of costly, and they normally reserve it for animated films. One of the best examples up to date is Demon Slayer Mugen Train, Demon Slayer Infinity Train, which has just been out-aired on Japan as of this week. Hopefully sometime around next month we get to watch it. All of us, we get to watch it. And I do believe we have a schedule around the 24th of January. Okay, so back on the scene production, I will be switching over right now to the monitor itself, just to let you know on how I did things. So come on, let's hop in.
Alright, so here we are now on our program, the animation program that I use, which is Clip Studio Paint EX. This is a legally purchased license. And this is actually one of many animation programs that even the industry uses. If you're familiar with KyoAni, Violet Evergarden, this is the animation program their animators use. So it's not like that I bought it for the sake of following in KyoAni's footsteps, though I know it is admirable considering the features that it has. But even other programs such as Toon Boom would do nicely, but on our end, we've decided to go with Clip Studio just to be more consistent in the quality. Alright, so the scene that is featured here on screen is shot 30 to shot 35 from the storyboard of OtAnime. If you have participated in rounds 1 and 2, or more like rounds 2 and 3 of the OtAnime community contest, you might be familiar with the storyboard that we procured based on the winning story from round 1. And if anything, I'd like to show how it looks initially. This scene particularly, this is how the initial flow of the scene goes as. This one has no voiceovers yet, so just keep that in mind. So I'll be the one reading out the dialogues for you. So, hi, I'm Arya. I live right downstairs. I came to talk to you because I've been hearing some... Okay. I didn't know my steps would be that heavy. Steps? I've been practicing some dance routines, you see. I got a dance recital coming in a few days. I'm a ballet student. So she was just dancing. So that is the sequence of a different shot that we would be showing you its initial final product, quote-unquote. And that is particularly the one on sequence 4, which according to the storyboard covers shots 22 to 26. More or less down the line. Or shot 22 to 28. So this is how it looks like now with the voiceovers, the winning character design, and based on the storyboard. There will be some tweaks though, just to keep you guys in mind.
Okay, here we go.
Yes?
Hi. I'm Arya. I live right downstairs. I came to talk to you because I've been hearing some, thumping sounds on my ceiling.
Oh, I didn't know my steps would be that heavy.
Steps?
I've been practicing some dance routines, you see. I got a dance recital coming in a few days. I'm a ballet student.
So she was just dancing.
So based on that sequence alone, you could see some differences from the storyboard and how it's gonna come out in the final version of OtAnime. And one of the big things that you will notice is that there is no background yet, because we'll be showing a behind-the-scenes sequence of the background in our next video of OtAnime behind the scenes. Now, to give you a more in-depth feel of the process itself, so here, again, going back to shot 30 to 35, which is the scene right after what we just watched, we'll do a quick preview of the entire scene itself. So consider this as a bit of a teaser.
Wait, that's my song. Where did you hear that?
So it was in that park playing! I can't believe it! And we live in the same apartment! I couldn't get it off my head after I heard it. Can you play it for me?
But it's not finished yet.
Why?
Because I couldn't concentrate writing with all the noise coming from, here.
So, it's my fault you couldn't get the song finished. I'm so sorry! I can't do this anymore!
Hey, tell you what. I got an idea how we can both do this together.
So there you have it. That is the entire sequence of shots 30 to 35. So consider that as a bit of a teaser, and to give you a bit more in-depth further down the line. So there's a reason why I mentioned earlier that we're doing things a little differently compared to how the industry does it. In a sense, is the flow between animating and getting voice actors for the final film. The original process usually is that the animation staff themselves, they do the dubbing on their own just to set the pace for the lip codes of the characters. But on our end, so that we would constantly have the image of the final character in mind while we're animating, we already conducted the voice acting auditions ahead of time, as in during the pre-production process alone. So after the storyboard's finished and the character designs are finalized, if you've seen on the storyboard, that wasn't the final character design yet, but compared to what you saw just recently, this one is already applying the final character designs. And same goes as well for the voices that you've just heard, which, by the way, congratulations again to Amalie and Shie-chan for winning the roles of Arya and Sayaka. So I will be demonstrating to you how we do the process, especially with regards to what the animation process calls as in-betweening. In-betweening is making drawings in between what we call two main keyframes. So the one that I'm going to be showing you right now is the shot where Sayaka pops into frame. Oh, and there seems to be some adjustment. This is what I like about Clip Studio Paint, especially on its animation mode. You can separate the layers of the characters that you're animating, so you can separate some elements that are actually need to have some extra movement compared to everything else on the shop. Because in certain programs such as Toon Boom, especially when you're thinking for the coloring aspect, you need to have all the line art layers in one layer so that when you do the coloring, there should be no problems. Here in Clip Studio Paint, you can set a separate animation layer or an animation folder as referencing to the animation line art itself. I'll show you in a bit what I mean. Okay, so here in this shot right here on the 3rd second is where, so that's Arya. She's lamentating on the dance done by Sayaka while she is humming the tune of her own song. Then all of a sudden you see Sayaka pop in, surprising Arya. Now I separated the characters so that it'll be easy for me to color them later. And what we're going to do is we are going to animate Sayaka right here and now. So this part right here, so between key 2 and key 3 is what we would be doing. So consider this as well as a animation 101 preview. I'll be doing this just dedicating for this frame alone, for this behind the scenes footage, so that you can understand and appreciate the process even more. So we got our thumbnails layer here. The thumbnails layer is referencing what we did, because Clip Studio Paint also has this 3D feature. We recreated the thumbnails with the set 3D models of the program, and when that was done, we basically did the main key designs for Arya and Sayaka. Now we're going to be focusing more on Sayaka at this point of the process. Okay, this is a bit as rough as we can go as far as Psyche is concerned. So this is the motion. See? And if you're not satisfied with how they transformed into in between frames, you can always go back to the scenes, the part or the frame that you've worked on, and just do some quick adjustments right there. Like for example, the eyes, it was over dilated for my case, so I have to adjust that. And you can see now it's a bit more complete in a way. So if we're gonna do Sayaka's actual motion, it will be like this.
Where did you hear that?
Earlier, that huge gap did not exist, so it kind of froze on frame. But with that extra motion, it looks a bit more fluid.
Where did you hear that?
To show the effect as well, that she rapidly spawned in, there are various ways around it. Like say for example, this key, we're gonna extend it a little more to the side to make way for more animation hair movements. I'm not gonna show it on screen right now since we're gonna be dragging on too long. Animation is a tedious process, mind you, so you really gotta have a lot of patience. So yeah, that's a bit of an in-depth on how we do things here for OtAnime. And hopefully you got some tips, pointers. If you are an aspiring animator, this should at least give you an idea on how in-betweens work, if ever you're still confused about it. I'll continue to work on this for the next few days. It's gonna take a while, I know. But I can at least guarantee to you guys that the quality would be something that you would all like and appreciate as far as OtAnime is concerned, given this is a two-man animation job. Okay, so let's go on to the closing remarks.
Alright, I believe that is more than enough of the examples that I can just leak out. There's little that I can share to you guys about what happens behind the scenes. I don't want to leak out everything, because there won't be anything left for you guys to anticipate once Music Steps is officially finished. Okay, on the next episode, or on the next video, per se, we will be showing you how we do the background step by step. Not necessarily step by step, but we will show you how we do the backgrounds for Music Steps. It's a mix of live, digital, and 3D. So do be sure to look out for that one. And before we end this video right here, I would just like to note that we have a special, exclusive, private, live event happening. If you haven't checked out on our social media pages, please do check it out. OtaCute Asia, OtaCute at Twitter, and OtaCute on Facebook. We're going to be having an OtaLive featuring Ashley Cloud, Geneva, and Azumi. It's going to be official on Discord. There is a fee. More details on the links. Links down below if you want to join in on the event happening on November 1. Alright, so that's enough of me. I need to get back to work just to get this done as soon as we can. Because some of the extra bits, I might show some teasers. Like a teaser of another behind-the-scenes teaser next time. Also in regards to the animating part which I haven't discussed here. So okay, this is Myogi saying see you guys in the next video.